Chapter 4, Friday. In order to stop Caleb's dynasty from coming into the state of Ohio, we came towards full steam by packing our belongings this early morning sunrise. I never thought going on a trip to Braxis would take any longer, but when we had a GPS inside the white van, we were going to be in here for a long hour and a half. My mindset began getting extra paranoid since I knew we could be spotted by Caleb and Jaden at any point given. Chris, me, Joe Nathan, Skylar, Johan, Desmond, DeAndre, and everybody except Alex tags along. I didn't honestly think having Alex around could help us survive, since he'll find more ways to AWOL anyways. Once 30 minutes have gone by, I heard a missile blow the second I would have almost been half asleep, because now Miss Mac told Miss Hacker to shoot a missile at that helicopter that's been tracking us down. I began wondering if this helicopter looked any familiar to a cargo sign, and sure enough it did. What really got us Mustangs to start panic attacking was when our peer named Oscar showed up. He sounded pissed as frick, and he tried opening the van door to grab Johan. I guess Oscar was also seeking revenge, but when I realized there was a go-kart in the back of our white van, I blew out of there. "Nick, grab his AK-47, Miss Hacker shouted. I decided to load up and started taking a ride against the other cargo vehicles, trying their bestest towards blowing full gas on the brakes. I popped one of them cargo vehicles, and Oscar really spoke up Spanish, although he seemed to be cussing his every bad language from the Spanish dictionary, drifting from hella frightening. Nothing could get any worse when Oscar had his own size vehicle to spare. Oscar got even closer, so I had to fight this cargo self myself. I ran 360 like I haven't even done before, and Oscar grabbed my foot and tried twisting my leg around. Well, I'm guessing Joe Nathan Dianco saw me fighting for my own life, because they shoot Oscar through his rude foot instead. "Who are you working for, Oscar?" I yelled out loud. Oscar language couldn't be spoken like we wanted to hear, though thankfully Miss Mac used the translator device to see why Oscar tried using his cargoes from committing a 10-degree murder on all of us Mustangs. Translator: "Who are you working for?" "Him. Steven." "Steven!" shouts DeAndre. We were all pretty much looked super confused. Then Miss Mac translates for Oscar again, my bad. And that's when we were going to stop Steven once and for all. Why do I always stutter? God dang. "Why are you guys working for Steven?" "Me. Because he seeks war. Him." Not too long ago, the rain began pouring, and that was when things came to a close as a gunshot fired through Oscar's front head instantly. The cargoes were pissed off over Oscar once he revealed their secret boss, and they even torn our go-kart into pieces, but not our van. We speed out of their way, but them cargoes kept coming because a giant bomb shaped like a ball full of toxic waste was being rolled over. Somehow our white van transformed into a military war machine, which got us on the edge of our seats. "Whoa, Miss Mac, what did you just do?" Skylar asked. "I'll flip the script, sir," Miss Mac said. Miss Mac shot multiple missiles at the cargoes, my bad. I didn't mean to say cages because that was sound hella racist. But when the bomb kept coming closer, Skylar decides to sacrifice himself. "What are you doing?" Skylar shouted out loud. This moment was his moment. Skylar was our hero, our savior, and our former Mustang. He was sacrificing for our sake, sacrificing his story, his family, his pride from demanding greatness. Really, no matter what we've become, he'll be an unforgettable warrior. A warrior, perhaps, is going to be flying away into the forever and beautiful sky. That's exactly what my very Nicky told me. And looking at Skylar crying in anger, his very last words felt extremely memorable. "It's going to be okay, dude. Just remember me when I'm gone." Skylar faded through the bomb's explosion and even found a personal necklace that he hid from U.S. Why'd I say U.S.? Us. In a golden chain, the smoke blew like a wildfire, and our war machine transformed back into the same old white van. Sometimes, to this day, I'll never forget him. Chapter 5. The white van kept speeding up. But now that we completely have lost someone in our group, everybody inside the van was tearing away, full of dread. Once in a blue moon, at some point, God let us die for a reason. Sometimes, though, the exact moment you wanted it all, you're never gonna realize what it'll cost to sacrifice them all to chance those that needed saving, as any hero would do. Now that we know who we're looking after, Miss Mac parked in front of the Braxis building. John, Chris, me, and Desmond started to load our guns at maximum power. We broke that door open wide. Miss Mac gave ourselves walkie-talkies, just so we're able towards communicating to others whenever it's needed. Because we all really snuck through the building's vents instead. It was almost impossible to stay hidden, especially while these vents kept trying to make noise. But we luckily found where Steven lurks, which is a dark hallway that we almost fell into some sort of trap. Also, this was in next to Shelby, by the way. So, just letting y'all know. Let me read back to see what I said. Actually, yeah, so it was located in Shelby. Hallway, and we felt like this was some sort of trap, right? But for some actual fricked up reason, this place had red lasers coming out through side to side. Chris knew we had no choice but to turn back, and as we all started arguing, the red lasers shut off. John got spooked, and hearing footsteps was actually extra creepy. But if we didn't start bickering over stupid crap, none of us would have been the ones to have somebody walking towards us beneath those shadows. "Who are you?" John demands. This dude looked at us, then says, "Y'all know what is going to happen if you don't surrender to the mighty Caleb Johnson, right?" This dude even had a game master mask, and so I said, "Unmask yourself." The reveal came quite as a serious shocker. Laville? Desmond yells. Somehow, in some way, Laville was inside Braxis, but why? Laville, how did you get inside Braxis? Chris questions. You can hear these questions later. Right now, you guys actually need to get out of here before Steven comes and tracks y'all guys down, Laville says. Laville, we need you more than ever. Mohegan Youngster Academy is in a massive crisis, and the only way from saving our facilities is if you decide to tag along with us Mustangs, I explained. My Mustang days are over, Laville said. Look, Laville, I know what happened when you were with those Titans. I get it, and look, I believe in you, because I knew how it felt to not be with us Mustangs no more, especially those bonds when you needed it the most, I state. Nick, you've come a long way since then, but things change for the best, Laville said. And that's why we're still not gonna give up at all, I said. So even after things have changed since then, Laville, we still show pride in demanding greatness. No matter if it's been months or years or straight decades, we'll come back stronger than ever, Chris states. Laville paused for a moment, then says, Amen. Okay, so what's the plan? Desmond asked. Laville gave himself the train of thought, and he's pretty much said, we'll rock Steven's world right now, even if this means we have not made it out alive. Once this battle began, we had a whole bunch of Braxis staff chasing after us. Laville's totally shanked those guys good, no cap. Chris used Laville's orange metallic sword. Desmond went ninja kicking, taking down 10 other Braxis individuals. And me and John were in there like butter. After this ruckus we created, the elevator right smack in the middle went open sesame, and all 5 of us Mustangs were coming prepared. Steven walked out of there, then said, You really thought your old Mustang peers of yours could defeat me? I am the OG of your guys' group! So you sent Caleb's tribe over here, OG Mustang, I shouted. And you really stuttered and really paused because that doesn't sound right on your end, but you are really super gullible, little boy, Steven yelled, but I wasn't. Where does the actual common sense ever come to play? Nowhere, Steven demands. Then we, or whoever you are working for, Steven, John asked. If you want to know, you gotta fight me first, Steven said. About 2.5 seconds later, all of us fighted like a man. But Steven is a straight pro at this match. It almost felt like we were about to lose against Steven anyways, except Laville came prepared as he chucked Steven out of the bulletproof window. So don't even ask me what kind of demon Laville was. We went jumping down safely until that wasn't the end of Steven's other recruits we had facing forwards. Now who's gonna be able to stop me? Steven shouts, as things were feeling much too hard from Steven's army of other Braxis staff loading up their guns. A white van drifted and transformed into a war machine again. Now who will be able to stop us? I yell. Funny, I'm so glad you're all thinking you'll ever be able to from stopping what is coming towards this typical state of Ohio. At first, I thought you'll believe that Caleb's tribe is the true villain MVP, but that'll be your guys' grave mistake, Mustangs. It's over, Steven. We had enough of your shenanigans. Now let's either make you pay for what you did to Sky or die, I command with anger. Alright, well you asked for me to die, so let me die. But letting all you know, if you kill me, you'll suffer humongous consequences, Steven pauses. Wait. Humongous consequences? What? That's when I fought and I said, Hold your fire. Then I responded, Go on. Has any of you guys realized who I am working for? Exact answer being Mr. Ringler. Steven explained short and sweet. So why did he quit Mohegan first thing I asked? Because he didn't. See, that's what I meant by your gullible FYI, Mr. Gooseby fired Mr. Ringler over himself voiding conflict against non-proper treatment, is what he told me. Because after Mr. Ringler was officially fired whatnot, he felt betrayed and plotted sinister revenge on Mohegan Youngstar Academy since, and is planning full world domination wherever you'll go. Now, he's bringing all gangsters in every state, and his dynasty may soon unravel, as thousands of innocent people drop dead, Steven finishes. You killed Skylar, I yelled at hard as frick. I didn't want to kill nobody. I had no choice. Mr. Ringler forced me to drop that bomb, so I sent in them cargoes to do so, Steven shouts. So what made you get kicked out of our Mustangs group before? I questioned Steven. Look, okay, I wasn't even gonna be joining those weak old Mustangs at all. I was supposed to go over into the Buccaneers dorm. But once I stayed put with Mikey, Deombre, Braden M, Alex, LaVille, or whatever, including Miss Hacker, I had enough for one day. So me and another Mustang peer or two, my bad, actually, Christian and Cassidy were gonna try to fight me, but I had won until Miss Hacker called them sheriffs and I was even put into handcuffs. End of story, Steven finished up. Well, you can always get a second chance, buddy old pal, I says Deombre, jumping out of the white van. But Mr. Ringler will find me, and so will Caleb Jaden Volger, Caleb's older brother named Anthony Johnson. Furthermore, your evil variant Nicholas Ryan Bruce, states Steven. Wait, Jaden Volger did say about how I murdered my own girlfriend named Nina. Wonder if it's the same imposter I saw before. Maybe it is, I said. Nick, hold the brakes. Say what again? John asks. Uh-oh, I think I have spilled the beans as a bit too much. And because I did, it was finally about high time I revealed the truth about the multiverse within reality's core. Once I explained everything, peers in my group, including LaVille and Steven, were asking me billions of questions. Somehow I really jinxed a lot in my timeline, because instead of Nina's foster mother being the exact prime suspect for her death, now it's Rick Drews, my future self. However, us Mustangs decided to head over into Dayton City, where Steven had a tracking device to spot Rick Drews' favorite place. Maybe we'll find other Mustang recruits there, right? Dianco asks. It's already starting to get late anyways, Dianco. I think maybe us Miss Mac should rent us a hotel down in Holiday Inn, Chris said. And that's why we're gonna stop by to get something to eat first. Anybody hungry for some Dama's pizza? Miss Mac said. At this very extent, we ordered the crust cheese, regular pepperoni on the side, then regular cheese large, right next to me kind or / pineapple. We brought our food into Holiday Inn, cashed up, and each room, Miss Max said, was going to be the exact same as we'd be spending inside our own rooms. The only real difference is we sat and enjoyed watching TV along with YouTube. Chris wasn't technically sure about how we're even going to catch my evil variant, but they all knew one thing. It's that sleeping through this rainy night would have been safe if gaining back my own speed wasn't humanly possible once more. Chapter 6, Saturday. Last night, we had to evacuate. The moment was 12 o'clock p.m. around midnight. Our room slammed open wide, because Caleb Johnson had found us hiding inside Holiday Inn. But thankfully, we escaped quick and easy. We found a gas station nearby, where being hidden was a good way to go about. As morning went awake, we drove over into Dayton City. Yep, the ghetto is back into business. This was where Boyz II Men had been lurking after the events of March 2022. Never really knew what could get any scarier, besides the fact that we drove past Sinclair College, or that driving past lots of those liquor stores could do the trick. But what alerted us into heading for was my old high school title, Thurgood Marshall High School. Once we jumped onto the grass field full of trash, plus more, nothing had gotten any more eerie than inside this building itself. Well, I'm guessing this is where I used to go to school at Mustangs, I said. Me, Lavelle, John, Stevens, Deombre were the only ones walking around that Thurgood way. We knew something felt off when there's nobody around, potentially getting sightings on from Stevens' tracker stating. So all we had to do was walk up those stairs and find a key to unlock that abandoned workout room. Also, if you were wondering what was on the tracker, it was giving us a star, a pointed star. X marks the spot where we had to go to. It was weird, right? But where we would find a specific key into the Rick Drews' headquarters, somehow all these doors were locked in every which doorway possible. We tried finding clues to whether there's a key hidden under the mats or hidden beneath these paintings, but after we searched around and found nothing towards plain sight, the loudspeakers alerted us inside the building, and just when we were about ready to leave, the power shut it off. It didn't just begin to escalate so fast. In fact, something decided towards rumbling from the Thurgood glass ceiling above. And what do y'all know? It was more gangbangers. But wait, is that Casey Hill? I couldn't be sure if Casey Hill was leading those guys or whatnot, but he sure went after me. For some reason, Casey Hill said, "Hold your fire, guys." So he was also part of Mr. Ringler's territory, nevertheless. "Listen here, bro. I don't know what you're doing back in Dane City, Nicholas Ryan Bruce, but it'll be nice if you can leave. So let this be a lesson towards all you worthless scums. Leaving my city or suffer a bloody agenda known as a 1v1 brawl, bruh." Casey Hill threatens as he usually did to me like 100% wannabe thug/punk. "Come on, Casey. You're still not gonna lose, but you're still gonna lose anyways. So no matter what kind of boxing match you'll even lose against, punk," I said. "That don't make any sense, but alright, bro. You asked to fight, so let's fight like them good old days, like just you and me," Casey Hill yells as the battle was about to start. Casey Hill, though, got in some kind of superhero strength, probably because he must have gotten those powers from Mr. Ringler. I ran like Speed Life across as I started running upside down, and getting chased by Casey Hill wasn't such an easy hassle, since having my powers back in business was going to have a lot of damage caused throughout spending or speeding into circles after circles. So what I did was I slowed back time, and Sonic's kicking Casey Hill did not fail. As a matter of fact, unfortunately, Rick Truce sensed my powers from a mile away, and as he slam dunked my face extra farther apart, I almost would have been dead. Things were about to get tragic once Rick turned things much harder than it needs to be. And what he did do something else, as watching DeAndre get stabbed across the chest wasn't easy for me to watch. Rick Truce then says, "See you soon, Nick." Rick speeds away, and I had no other choice but instead to listen over DeAndre's final words. "DeAndre?" Laville asked. "You did good, Laville. Including you too, Nick," DeAndre said. "DeAndre, please don't go," I yelled, crying out loud and having tears drop down from my eyelids. "Nick, you're a brave Mustang. Remember me, as we've come a long way since then," DeAndre says as he gasped, his long last statement being, "We've come a long way since then." "DeAndre! DeAndre! DeAndre!" I shouted in tears. And once the thunderstorm was rumbling to thin air, pouring from this great shattered or swallowed battle we have lost. Lavelle, John, Steve, and me didn't know what we were going to do, but instead began thinking about how we just lost another Mustang in between thin air. Somehow Joe Nathan still had his MP3 player with him, and because our legends had passed by, we played it loud and simple, walking out of the Thurgood Marshall building, playing Legends Never Die, but an epic orchestra instead. "What happened, guys? And wait, where's DeAndre?" Desmond questions us. It was so hard to explain towards a guy from perspective that always had a close relationship with DeAndre. We knew that it will, at this very second, the sun shine on all of us. Desmond, I don't want to admit what happened back there, but DeAndre got shanked," Lavelle tells him. "What do you mean he got shanked?" "What do you mean?" Desmond asked. "I'm so sorry, Des," Lavelle said. Those two gave each other a bear hug. That's when everybody began crying away. I was sitting on the grass field, wishing we could have stopped those guys to begin with. But this just about everything I do is always never a way towards saving others when needed. My thought process wasn't clear, and just when I began thinking about quitting this dumb old mission, a green Dodge car, Charger, or whatever you call him, or whatever you call it, not him, pulled up into an instant. "Who are you?" I demanded. Then two people got walking out of their vehicle. Only thing is, my whole world gave myself the biggest shocker to date. To be continued. If you guys love this part, and I know I said I was going to make more or read all chapters, like chapters 4 to 7, but I think this is the perfect way to end it off because I don't want to spoil the next episode. But yeah, the Matt Dynasty is looking pretty good right now. So just letting y'all know if you enjoyed today's episode, because I gotta go, and also because things are going crazy inside of my house right now that I cannot control, please make sure to hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't, and follow me on my YouTube page because we need more subscribers on Nick Bruce /Lil15. But sometimes in the hashtag we just put Nick Bruce Productions in general. That's the old name I used to put in. So yeah. But anyways, I must go and must investigate what's actually going on. So, yeah, but we will continue on more chapters very soon, guys. It's going to look pretty good, to say the least. But, anyways, yeah, so, peace.